So you're growing up in the 80s, right? This is the crack era.
Yeah.
You're living in Brooklyn, you're walking down the streets. What are you witnessing as a child at that time then?
Uncle Howie was the crackhead of Glenwood Projects. My Uncle Howie was the famous crackhead. There would be like times where dudes that we were friends with or people we knew, let's say like a Puerto Rican dude who we were cool with, would come up to me or my brother, be like, yo, we beat up this crackhead last night, some dude named Howie. We'd be like, yo, that's our uncle, bro. The fuck you talking about? Then the guy would be, oh, my bad. We didn't know. You know, he was in the park wilding out, you know? So my uncle was crazy in the projects. He was a crackhead, but he also sold all the thugs in the projects weapons. So you remember back in the day, karate mags, you could order all the weapons, Chinese stars, blowguns.
Right.
You couldn't go to a store usually for that. You had to order it from the back of a Chinese magazine. So my uncle would order all the weapons, blowguns, Chinese stars, nunchucks, and all the thugs would come to his building and buy the fucking weapons. Another thing my uncle used to do was, because a lot of dudes in the projects, they won't leave the projects. They don't know that there's a world outside of the PJs. So my uncle would go to like the Blockbuster and get all the kung fu flicks and make VHS copies of it and sell it to all the thugs in the projects, the kung fu flicks, before Wu-Tang dropped. And you could buy for like $1, or $2, and you would own, you know, the one of those Shaolin movies or whatever, because my uncle would dub it. My uncle had like 3 different VCRs so that he could do mass duplication. And my uncle also, what would happen is if you live in the projects, they would pick a floor on the top where they would put the cable boxes for the whole building. So your apartment could be the destination that cable would put, like I don't remember exactly the details, but something like the main cable box that would attach to everybody in the building could be like in your crib, and maybe you would get like a discount. So my uncle, he had like the 6th floor apartment, and I remember. So Jamaicans, drug dealers, took over my uncle's apartment as a stash spot so that my uncle could get free drugs. And my uncle ended up fucking smoking all their shit, and they burnt down his apartment with Uncle Howie in the apartment.
Wow.
And Howie had to jump out onto a tree out the window on the 6th floor, and the fire department had to come get him from a tree or 6 fucking stories up in the air. Like, that's the kind of shit I dealt with. My own uncle was wild as fuck. On some junkie crackhead, but involved with like all the goons and yeah, crazy. I used to get calls from my uncle from Riker. My Uncle Howie, the one I'm talking about, he probably went to Rikers like 100 times, in and out of Rikers. So he would call me up when I was like 6 years old, and my mother said, don't collect calls from Uncle Howie because it costs money, like $30 each call. But I could never front on my uncle.
Right.
So I would accept all the calls, and my uncle would be like, yo, what up, kid? I'm here. Yo, I'm here with da-da-da. He wants to talk to you. And he would put on convicts on the phone to me. And they'd be like, yo, I'm going to fuck your ass when you get up in here, motherfucker. You don't want to be up in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? You better stay out of jail because I'm going to cut you when I see you. And then he put my uncle back on. Be like, yeah, that's da-da-da. He just want to let you know what you got coming. So by hearing shit like that, it made me not want to go to jail. And I kind of avoided a lot of the shit my uncle was doing. Like I avoided becoming a crackhead and drugs and like that. I never really became a drug guy, and I never became a jail guy because I learned really young that shit was corny.
But you were like exposed to drugs really early at an early age. Like you saw them in person and you saw people using on the streets.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a homeless crackhead, so I wasn't around them on that level. But I mean, I'm in the projects. I'm in Brooklyn. My uncle's a crackhead, so you seeing all different kind of junkies around. Of course. I mean, that's just like normal. That shit was almost just like normal shit. You know what I mean? Like
It was normalized in the hood.
wherever I was, it was normal because, like I said, my uncle was a crackhead. So remember, he brings people around. You know what I mean? My random fucking people.
Would he use in front of you when you were a little
Listen,
kid?
my uncle fell through a fucking table, the coffee table, a glass coffee table in the middle of our living room. He fell through the fucking table.
Wow.
and just while people were over or whatever, and broke the whole table in half. Like all my couches in my apartment had holes, cigarette holes from him nodding out. He fucked up all my mother's linen. All my mother's linen had fucking holes in it. So you don't understand. Like I had a fucking crackhead in the family. Listen, there's a dude named Fiend. He was one of Master P's rappers, and he dropped an album called. His name was Fiend, and the name of the album is Every Family Has One. I don't remember the name of the album, but something like Every Family Has One. So I had one as well.
Right.